I do believe that right now would be a better time than ever, this far into the session, to go ahead and go under the skin of your new EP, or your EP that has yet to come out. That being, I don't know why I keep on forgetting the name. It's right here in front of me, so do bear. Echoes of a Dying World. So, Echoes of a Dying World, right? This is going to be the debut 5-piece effort from I Saw God, and we listened to it today. Really, really good shit. So, we usually enter into a scenario, an imaginary scenario, and either we'll have the lyricist depict this as a book that you find in a library, a movie that you find in a blockbuster, even though those for the most part don't exist anymore. We've had people unearth the entirety of the lyrical contents as a scroll under a shrine. We've done a lot of weird shit. So I think what would be best for this is to kind of regard it as a memoir and like a parting message and shit. I'm not sure if you agree with that sentiment, Zach, but if this wasn't an album, what would you want it to be as a creative medium?
Poems.
Poems? Fair enough. Easy. Super easy. So, then we begin this by asking if this was collected, even as poems, in a book. And then you would flip that over, right? And you'd have a summary on the back describing what compiles all of these songs together. Maybe an introduction or something that's supposed to have you open up this collection of more casual poems. What would that summary on the back of this collection be?
The EP for me really feels like somebody on their deathbed, like spitting their final frustrations about the world, like kind of like in frustration that like they couldn't make it better. So I would say probably like poems depicting the failure of man.
Fair enough. Okay. So more or less, yeah, this is absolutely a memoir, and it's a collection of maybe cryptic poems that then combine into the final wishes and the final thoughts of someone having left to depart from the earth. So then we begin with the track listing, and we look into lobotomizing this EP, Echoes of a Dying World. The first track would be Gaza, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So what does Gaza talk about?
So Gaza, like the title it's loosely referencing the conflict in the Middle East, a conflict that we've watched for 30 years, just kind of like bounce around different parts of the Middle East. And I kind of use that as a point to say, like, hey, isn't it funny how it's always the people in suits wasn't this shit, but it's always our kids dying, no matter what color the kids are or what nationality they are. That's always the result. People in suits starting conflicts and our children dying. What's up with that? So, like, that's kind of like what it's about. And it's also like a call for, like, justice against the perpetrators, right? So it's like, if anybody deserves to die, it's those people.
Fair enough. I like that. Nice and straight to the point. Has a solid punch to it. Nothing to argue about there. Next track on this track listing, as I'm pulling up the track listing now. Okay, so, the next song is I'll Show You Love, the one featuring...
That's definitely
from Heavy Hitter.
Yeah, there you go.
Glad I had this.
blacklist.
So what does I'll Show You God talk about?
So I'll Show You God is kind of like, I feel like that's like the angriest song on the record, right? So summation, the song is basically like, it starts off talking about like the ego of others. Like it's basically like, how pompous of you to think that you're better than anyone. How pompous that you're God. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, I'll show you God. And it's basically like I'm saying that as like a threat. You know what I mean? Like, and that's like kind of how it was meant. And then it goes on to like talk about like the lyrics for the verse are, I used to pray for peace, but now I just pray for a fucking cleansing of every unclean pious pig. The puppets using or the puppets pulling the strings to control me. My mind and body are as old as they are. Give my flesh to the worms, dust into dust. I have given up everything I've ever loved, but it wasn't enough. So like, that's basically saying like, I used to pray to be okay with how shit is, but now I just pray for it all to burn. You know what I mean? Like, because everything is fucking bullshit. And then like, it's also talking about like how like the also like deeds of the flesh, right? Like nothing you ever do is good enough. So like it's just basically touching on that. Like there's a lot of like concepts that I'll like throw in with the line or two, but that's like what I mean like with the deeply like I want you to think about what I'm saying instead of taking it face value. And then it goes on to say, I hope this time you stab me dead in the face, but you don't have what it takes. You're just a rat caught in a fucking race. Better run for your pathetic life. I'll give you a cold-hearted reminder of who. And it's like basically this is like my like commentary to society is like basically what I like. I'm not talking to like any particular person here. It's just like basically like the overall ego of society. You know what I mean? And then it goes, you're just a narcissistic, egotistical, manipulative, hypocritical, disgusting motherfucking piece of shit. And that's basically like I was like, these are all the tag words that people use. Kill me, hit you with buzzwords that people say about people all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like basically like spitting back, but people, the shit that people regurgitate back in their face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it goes, you deserve the you did to me. And that's basically like an open-ended thing because like when I was a kid, like I was like I was very much of like I'll give somebody my whole lunch because they don't do, or like I'll share whatever I have with the person.
Yeah.
And the world kind of like broke that in me. So like that's like what I mean to say like you deserve to live through what you did to me. And like that's like not like it's like really just like you deserve advantage. You know what I mean? The way that I was because like society doesn't value like purity, and that's like basically what it's talking about. You know what I mean? And then Austin's feature, he said, "No time for that weak shit. You know what the fuck is up? I'll bury you in your fucking filth, like a snake that sheds its skin, venom laced with every word. I'll cut the truth out of your mouth." He wrote that like so. The features I got the people to write their own shit. I don't like writing for artists, so like I'm just like, this is what the song's about. Write what you want.
Yeah.
And that's what he wrote. So, but all in all, that song is basically like my open commentary to like society. So like so far we've touched on like war and conflict, and then now the second track is falling on like the social disease, if you will.
Yeah. No, I like that. And it's so far two heavy hitters, for lack of a better term, that kind of introduce you to what's going on upstairs for you. I like that. Track 3, we have BPBH.
I wish we got a truth fucking kicked in the fucking head, stop on tactical, fight the film of him.
I know that's an acronym, so what does the acronym stand for?
Bulletproof broken hearts.
I like that. That's cool.
And it's kind of like kind of what do they call where it's like a like two contrasting things.
A
I
dichotomy.
forget what the word is. Yeah.
Dichotomy,
So like
duality.
basically, yeah. So like basically, what I'm basically saying there is, if something's broken, you can't break it. You can't break it. You know what I mean? So like, if you've already been destroyed by the world, you've experienced the lowest of the low, and now you're unbeatable. You know what I mean? Because you've seen the lowest. Like nothing can destroy you. You've already been through the cold, and that's really like what this song is about. This is like my anthem to these young kids. Like this is the one where I was like, this is you. So I'm gonna just read the lyrics from here on because like I feel like that's like the best way to go about it. Um, so this one starts. Come take your best shot, but if you shoot, you better be shooting to kill. And if you kill, you better be willing to die. Because in this world, it's eye for a fucking eye. In the end, no one's ever made it out of the game that we play called. And that's like, go for what you want. Like, don't be deterred. Because, like, at the end of this shit, you're going to fucking die anyway. You know what I mean? So, like, that's basically what I'm saying there. Like, don't be afraid of, like, people coming against you. Don't give a fuck about anything about going what you're going for, and understand what comes with it. Like that's what I'm saying there. And I say I wear these scars like armor. Each time you tried to kill me, it's only made me stronger. I am unstoppable now. I used to think that this pain was a weakness until I realized I will never be broken. And then that's the breakdown where Brady's like, again. And then it goes on to say, and now I've come to kill the kings of this shit and carve my name deep enough for you to feel it, bitch. And like, basically what I'm saying there is like, I'm just coming to leave my mark. You know what I mean? Like nothing can stand in my way. So it's like I talk the talk and I'm walking the walk. You know what I mean? I just told you to do something and now I'm telling you how. You know what I mean? And then I say, I want the wound to bleed until I wither away. I don't get on my knees and I won't beg you for mercy. This is an anthem for the anxious, for all the broken hearts. This is an ode to you. We are fucking bulletproof. And then it goes back into like the first thing like this. So take your best shot, but if you shoot, you better be shooting to kill. And if you kill, you better be willing to die. Because in this world it's eye for a fucking eye, and you can't kill what's already fucking dead inside. That one's probably like the most personal for me. That one like no like funny shit, but that one like makes me tear up because like that's like a like the anthem that the 15-year-old me needed.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Finn, I hear you. You're good to go. Thank you for joining the session today.
Yeah, no, I just didn't want to cut anyone off too. I gotta get home with some work shit. I've been fighting this for the last couple of hours, dude. I've been feeling like dog shit all day.
Yeah, you're good. You're good, man. I appreciate you joining in.
It's been a pleasure, and it's been an absolute pleasure. I'll have to find you on Instagram and shoot you a follow, man, so we can keep in touch. It's been an absolute pleasure.
All right, buddy. Take care. Get better. See you soon.
You guys.
I hope you feel
See
better,
you soon,
bro.
buddy. You too, man.
Later, bro.
You'll be safe. Later.
Cool.
No, with a name like the Orc King, I never would have guessed that he would be such a nice guy.
He's one of the best.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
He's such a sweet.
He's great, and he like honestly, nothing but love for Finn. I consider him like an older brother now, because we've known each other at least now for like a couple of years, getting into this shit. And having him jump onto the Anatomy Crosscast as my first co-host, or me and him really meeting because of an opportunity to audition to be the new vocalist of Mental Cruelty when they were going through that process. Well, me and him both auditioned, and I was like, you know what? I really hope they let this Finn guy in, because like he's got tattooed eyes, he's got really sick vocals, he's been to Germany before. Like hopefully they'll scoop him up, and they're buddies with him. They didn't scoop him up. I'm like, oh man, sorry they didn't scoop you up. You want to be friends? And he's like, yeah, sure. And we've been friends ever since.
That's legendary, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
it was funny. When my girl came in here, she was like, she rolled a joint, so she like passed it to me and stuff. And she was like, "Are his eyes tattooed?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like that. Like, look, you're deceiving. He's a nice guy. Like,
He's a great guy.
yeah, I give people a chance.
I really hope to be sharing like a more prominent future with him outside of the Anatomy Crosscast, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, dude, I touch with both you guys. You guys like this conversation's been awesome. Like, I've loved every bit of talking to both of you.
I appreciate that, man. Well, we still got plenty of talking to do, so let's go ahead and continue with that. Were you still getting through the lyrics for BPBH, or are we good for Wagtag?
We are good for Wagtag. That's also that song is called "What's a Gooner to a Goblin." And that is 100% just a fun MySpace deathcore song title. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's funny because it's also like that song too is I feel like that one and Bulletproof Broken Hearts lyrically are my two favorites off the EP. Lacrimosa is also really sick, but something about them too, like I feel like I definitely like captured what I was going for the best. So for What's a Gooner to a Goblin, that has a feature at the end. At the end on the breakdown, it's Andy from Thus Spoke Zarathustra.
Okay.
So I'll read his part. He did some cheeky little things with his feature that I didn't realize that, and it was a cool moment. So when we get to that, like I'll explain. You might catch it when I say the lyrics. But it goes, broken fingers painting portraits of pain, entire cities ablaze, the air is thick with the smell of decay, decomposition of the world that we love, the bombs will block out the sun as judgment rains from the sky above. And that's like really just talking about like the most fucked up people run the world and this is what they make. You know what I mean? Like they're killing off. And it goes obsession, aggression, oppression, in a war of attrition. Count your days if you don't count your blessings. Run away if you're afraid to get blood on your hands. Another victim orchestrating the end of their reality. A catastrophic disaster like nuclear winter is nothing compared to this scene. It's loss, fear, and death. Nothing left but pain. Memories soon forgotten. Bones crushed to dust. Ashes of a dream that we had back when we were. Now it's dead and the world is fucked. And then it goes the broken fingers painting portraits of pain part again.
Yeah.
And then after it repeats that, it goes into Andy's part. And he goes, bleed the rats, hang 'em high, you will beg to die. I broke my own will and mended bones to rise. Caress your sons and daughters for one final time, because when you die bold, you'll see God through my eyes. And like, I think it's funny because like he did the when you die bold name, and then when you'll see God through my eyes. That's is cool, a play on the band name. So like, yeah. I thought that was pretty cool that he did that. Lyrically, like I definitely think like that's the coolest thing on the record. Not because it has something to do with me, but just because it like how he tied it in. I just thought that was really cool. But that is the end of that, which brings us to the last song.
Lacrimosa.
And that is locked on. Yep. And So fun thing about the sample that starts with that. That is the last. Is it Mozart or is it Beethoven? I forget because it's been a minute since I wrote the song. But the last. Who's the Who's the motherfucker that wrote Moonlit Sonata? That was Mozart, right?
Wait, no, it wasn't.
Moonlit Sonata. Moonlit Sinatra.
I know
But that was one of those composers. It was one of those like classical composers, but the last thing that they ever wrote was called Lacrimosa, and it was their unfinished work. They died before they were ever able to finish it. The first, the opening act was the only thing that they finished. So what you're hearing in the beginning of that is actually the beginning, like the only act that he got to write before he died. So like, but it was wild because this is what's trippy. It's in the same key that I wrote this song in. So that's why it works, like going into it, into that run. It's in the same key. So I was like, damn, that's fucking wild. That it's like, this is the last song I'm writing for the first EP, and that's the last song he wrote in his life. And I was like, dude, I'll start the song with that. And that's like not even a deathcore thing. That's just like a musical thing, like a me tipping my hat to another musician. You know what I mean? Just like purely for the love of art. But yeah, that's a cool little thing that I don't think anybody's gonna pick on at all. Like people are probably gonna think I made that. But, yeah, so you're getting the Easter eggs here. You're getting it here first. But the lyrics for this one, this is a very like Black Dahlia Murder inspired song for the most of it. Like I love that band, and so does our vocalist. And he was like, I need a riffy song. So I was like, I got you, chief. And we wrote Lacrimosa. Well, I wrote Lacrimosa, but that was a special request. You know what I mean? He wanted a song that had a vibe, and this was the one. So the lyrics go, swallowed into the gates of sorrow, the mouth of misery awaits me as I fall. And into this force-fed reality, open your eyes, you've gotta wake the fuck up. A glazed gaze staring lifelessly back at me, just like a corpse. Imagined importance, destruction is assured. Perception distorted, there is no fucking cure. If you're all so perfect, why has the world become so artificial? I feel infected by your presence. You speak in tongues. Minutes are hours and the hours are years. You're so addicted to your ego that you'd sell your soul just to have your 15 minutes of fame. So clap your hands to the sound of every newborn dying. 100% a play on Pray for Plagues by Bring Me the Horizon. So this is 100% me tipping the hat to influence. But when I wrote the part, all I could hear was the fucking two-step for Pray to Plague. So like I was like, look, I'm jacking the cadence because fuck, it's all I can hear in my head now. But it goes, so clap your hands to the sound of every newborn dying. Just because you closed your eyes doesn't mean they didn't die. And it repeats that again. And then it goes, if we look in the mirror, we will only be abominations. Eradication of us all. Lacrimosa, lacrimosa. Lay me to rest. Though I walk through the valley of death, I will fear no evil. My final rite of passage, this is my sacrament. Swallowed into the gates of sorrow, the mouth of misery awaits me as I fall. Into this force-fed reality, open your eyes, you gotta wake the fuck up. It does that whole part again, up until the why is the word official. And then we have a feature on this song by Jan Blanchett. He has the YouTube channel X the Jan X, and he's part of Brutality Podcast. He featured on this song, and we're at his part now. His lyrics are, your existence means nothing at all. We only live to be forgotten. Persistence is what makes you weak. We only live to be forgotten. Your existence meant nothing at all. Dive in the depths, in the shadows of the abyss. Your existence meant nothing at all. There's only suffering for you. Welcome to the infinite void. So like, and I imagine this is like being the last song. It's like you're fading out. You know what I mean? Like you're dead now. Like, and all you're left with is guilt and regret type vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
like the absolute worst case scenario in the choose your own adventure saga.
Seriously, no, I like that. It's always nice to have lyrics that fit a complete track. And not only that, but for this being an appetizer, well, you made sure to tie every loose ends possible, in lyrically speaking. I take it then that this EP does not build up or contribute anywhere directly from a narrative standpoint to the next effort.
Now, every record I do is going to be like a standalone thing. This year, I have big aspirations for this year. I'm gonna say it here because I'm gonna put it out in the universe. I'm trying to put out an EP every quarter this year.
Ooh.
So I have enough music for it. It's just a scheduling and money thing. You know what I mean? Getting things mixed and mastered, and then whether or not, because all we have to do is track vocals, like for every, like I have like over 100 songs like ready to go.
Really? That's great.
Yeah, like I took 12 months. I just did nothing but write, and I wrote like well over 100 songs. Like when I was going through my computer, I stopped counting at 100, like because it was just too much.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so like I have a lot of material, but the way I am, I'll have that back catalog and I'll probably write fresh shit for the next stuff. So like the next EP is like already done, like done. But like after that, I'm gonna probably be writing some new stuff or pulling riffs or parts from old stuff. But yeah, the next one's ready to go. Like, and I definitely I lean more, like it's weird because there's like a straight up tech death song, but then like I did like some like I did a really like two really melodic metalcore type riffs on that record, like big like a mirror two-step type things, and I just tried on some different hats, you know, um, but I definitely feel like no, like I don't ever want like one of our releases to speak for the band. Like I kind of want it. This band just sounds like this band. They just do what they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sweet. Well, after conducting a lobotomy for how much, bro? I got this. It's also really late.
You do. I
Session,
believe
I
in
guess,
you.
so. Something of a dying world. It's, bro. How am I forgetting this?
Echoes in the dying.
Echoes. Okay. Echoes.
Well, you heard it for the first time. Like you heard that phrase for the first time. Like what? Like an hour ago.
Yeah. But still, it's like I'm usually so much better with this. But after conducting a lobotomy then for Echoes of a Dying World, and after us concluding the first half of the podcast session, talking about bands that inspired all the members in I Saw God, what distinguishes Echoes of a Dying World from other iconic records relevant to MySpace deathcore in your own personal opinion? If there is anything.
I think the fact that like you know how like bands from that day, like they would only do you could only do that one thing, and if you didn't do that one thing, sold out or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that we did enough different things to where it's like you can't say like this band just sounds like this. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I pulled from enough influences to where it's like a very diverse thing, and it made its own type of space within the niche. You know what I mean? But I don't think that's a hard question for me because I don't think that I don't think that anything can set us apart considering like this it's all written like worshiping that era. You know what I mean? So it's like it's hard for me to answer like being the guy writing it. You know what I mean? I never know what to say to those type of questions.